Good morning vlog. I just did my hair. The humidity in Auckland at the moment is ridiculous. I cannot sleep. My lungs hurt. My hair is gonna fall. Like, let's do this. So this I just curled. How long is this gonna last? Because I just don't think it's gonna last. So I thought I would come say hi. I just feel like if I don't record now, I'm not gonna start. So we just start even if it's imperfect. Because we create form to things. You have to create form to things. Okay, I'm having one of those days where it's like, I have things to do, but I don't know what order to do them in. And it's like putting me into like a little bit of like a feeling of like, don't get overwhelmed. What's the next logical steps? What feels like the most exciting, logical flow of things to do today? So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So I'm gonna do my little like meditation, like to-do list thing where I literally just like sit and write out all the things that I need to do. So what I do is I literally like, this is from years of like meditating, by the way. So, and like doing hypnosis and like woo-woo shit like that. Learning to like quieten the mind. So I can do this like automatically now. If you are feeling stuck or like you don't know, if you've got like a to-do list and you know what to do but you feel a little bit like in functional freeze, I would do what I just did and I just like start writing when I'm in like a, you know when you hit that zone where you're kind of zoned out but you're still, it's called like unconscious competence. So that's like when you're driving like down your familiar route and you just like know the path, so you kind of like zone out, that get to that state and then you can write things out and then you can get to like what you should actually be working on without getting logic in the way or like your analysis in the way or emotions in the way. You get to like proper, like that's how you tap into that. Anyway, I got like a weird like writing thing of ideas, but then I just like condensed it down into bullet points. So you want it. So now I know the structure. That's like a little tip that I've learned along the way. Also, that's why I made the paintings, because if you stare at those long enough and you put on chill music or whatever, if you stare at them, I am not getting anything done here today. So I'm gonna trek along the waterfront and go probably to Daily Bread or like see what the vibe is. It's on and off rainy today. It is so humid. My hair is whatever. But I think I'll do more work if I get a Danish. She's back home and she's making another coffee. So oh my God, several things from that little trip. Let me put you down. That number is the same number I had last time I was there, and I also got a Danish. And last time I was there, I was finishing off a book that I had been reading that I got at a book spot that I had dreamed about. And I was like, this is weird. And then I was sitting there and the people next to me were driving me nuts, first off. I was sitting there and I was thinking about like, what are my boundaries? What are my like no-goes? What are my things that I'm not putting up with anymore? Because I feel like that still needs refining and stuff. I just don't think anyone would match the vision that I have for myself of like, I don't know, I have this goal of like going to different cities and like living in a different city every month or like every couple of weeks and just like moving. So like I'm thinking Sydney to start off with because I love Sydney. I'm thinking somewhere in Japan, somewhere on the west coast of the Americas. I don't know where. New York, of course. And then like Copenhagen, Berlin, Milan, Greece. But like I'm thinking Berlin and Copenhagen would be really cool. I think Berlin would be really fun, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be really cool to like brush up on my Japanese and German because I haven't spoken them in a really long time. especially my German. My German is still there, but it's like really rusty. When you've studied something every day for like hours on end, when you're a kid, that shit stays with you. I don't care what people say. If you have that capability like I do to be able to like put yourself back into like past tense and like go back into your memories, it's like really easy to kind of like tap into that level of knowledge again. And I feel like language is such an easy way to do that. My Italian's completely gone though. I have no Italian, which is probably for the best. I was thinking like, as I was sitting there, I was like, okay, well, I need to do like, whatever, I think it's called future pacing, of like when you think of your end goal and you like visualize it and you like completely create the context of the future that you're looking for, and then you backtrack it. So you're like, okay, and this is what I do with my strategy work as well, like over the years. It's like, if you have your end goal, that's like 6 months, 5 years ahead, what's like the 1 or 2 small incremental changes you can do today? And sometimes you like, if you have something that like relies on someone else, like a business partner or a relationship or something like that, you always think about like, okay, well, what would that person, what actions would they do, or how would they make me feel? How can you feel that today? So that's one part of it as well. Oh, I'm actually like really struggling to breathe with this humidity. I personally don't feel like something is completed until it is in a beautiful template or like with like properly formatted. So I'm gonna do that today because I actually can't breathe. So if I can't breathe, I'm scared I'm gonna faint actually. I've been known to faint in heat, so let's pray that doesn't happen. Okay, let's enter the mind of Ali. I have come across, and I don't know how I didn't know this, I've just stumbled across another woman inventor who was also an actress, and her name's Hedy Lamarr. She was born November 9th, 1914. She died January 19th, 2000. And she invented Wi-Fi, but it wasn't accepted at the time during World War II, but it was picked up later. There was this thing of like in between takes, she would self-study and like invent things. She invented like tablets to create carbonated drinks. And I was like, she invented that? That's so cool. And this is like, again, another reason why I want to do this is because I've been inventing things my whole life. I'm just not a builder. I just think that it's another thing of like, just get your ideas out there and timestamp them. This is why I think a YouTube vlogging thing is like a really good space. And like, I don't know, just get your ideas out there. There's so many ideas that I've had of like, that I've put into stories and things like that, but like my latest one is I think there's going to be a new way of like something to do with magnets. I don't know why, but I just have this thing of energy sources, magnets, and the earth gravitational pull, and something to do with that. I don't know what, I haven't quite cracked it, but that's like the sort of thinking that I've got. And something to do with batteries as well. And I know that there's like these diamond batteries that are like coming out that it's like, if you like create structure around it, around nuclear energy, that's diamond coated or like diamond, you can like condense down energy and hold it within a diamond structure and then use that as like a battery source. That's what they're working on at the moment. And I think they said that there's something like 20,000 years worth of energy, or like 2,000 years worth of energy, something crazy. I don't know, but that's the sort of like thinking. And this is why I love crystals. Like, I don't know if you know, I have like crystals everywhere. I believe crystals are untapped sources of like power, information, knowledge. There's something about them, and not in this woo-woo sort of a way. I think there needs to be, they're resources, right? Fuck. There's like, I swear there's something else there. And after thinking about the batteries, the diamond structured around like nuclear energy, I think there's something to do with,
and I wrote a story, actually. I wrote a story ages ago. I've had this idea for this, like, I think there's like, there's something there about like, and I don't know if this is like so Napoleon Dynamite, but you know how there's like the like time machine where he like shoves the crystals in and he's like, wait, I gotta put the crystals in. I don't think that's actually, I don't think time machines, but I think about extracting knowledge and or like information or something. There's something wild there, and I don't know if it's just for like a story or if there's actual some sort of semblance of truth in that, but that has been in my brain for a really long time. And this idea of electromagnetic pulling of things, and I feel like in the story that I was writing years ago, and this is when I was really sick and when I was like coming up with other stuff, but there was this thing that I had of being able to levitate and using the electromagnetic field, but crystals were a part of it, so you could have like flotation, like flying planes and things like that, but through crystals and magnetic pools of things. And I was trying to figure out the physics of it to be like, okay, so here's the invention that I had. It was flying cars using crystals. I don't know. And like something to do with, but the earth wasn't ready. The earth was different. And I just feels like, I was like, no, the earth is different. Something happens to the earth where there's like this giant like crack or something, or like if there's like a huge earthquake or something and it like erupts like, you know, untapped energy source in the earth, and it creates this ability for like, I don't know. But this is like ideas that I've been playing with, and I don't know if it's for a story or if it's real, but like that just keeps popping up in my mind. There's something about an earthquake or an earth shattering and just different types of energy sources coming up that resources will have to change, like untapped resources, and it breaks physics. We're able to break physics. I don't know, but that's how my brain works. So, but you guys can play with, because I don't think anyone's going to be able to crack, because like other ideas that I've had, people have like cracked my inventions and like actually made do with if someone can, and this is timestamp, if someone can crack the physics, that has to be until after the earthquake. If there's an earthquake or like something big happens, then that's possible, I think. But it's timestamped, so my idea.